You know when you have an idea and you think it's the best idea ever and you think and think and think about it and work on it until it's perfect in your head, but you never get started because it has to be perfect. It has to be the best video ever, or you're afraid to get started, or you don't think you are qualified. I have those ideas all the time. This is a video for perfectionists or for people who don't think they can get started. Here's a little tip. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you're a perfectionist or you think so much that you can't get started on a project or learning something new, there's this one tip that will help out a lot. When I was in school, one of my teachers told me about this professor, and she had a long list of rules. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later because they're all great rules for art and for life. But the one rule that I always think about is rule number 8. And rule number 8 goes a little something like this. Don't try to create and analyze at the same time. They're different processes. And I find that as someone who is afraid of putting a video out there or afraid of getting criticisms or wanting to have something be perfect, I'm always analyzing things before I start making them, and that usually halts from the making process. Making videos even, I think I overanalyze a lot and haven't made anything for months and months since I started to want to make these videos. And a lot of it is because I overanalyze and I want it to be either perfect or I won't do it at all, or I find a bunch of excuses. Some people will critique it, but most people just want to hear what you have to say. And if what you have to say is important, then it's important to make it first and analyze it after the fact. If you are having a hard time starting, whatever that next project is, or are finding excuses for yourself nonstop to make something, maybe you need to make it as simple as possible. So step 1, get rid of all of the thoughts and just cling on to whatever is catching your attention. We'll use an analogy. So I'm a photographer and I've studied photography, but that doesn't mean that I don't get creative block. But sometimes, especially after graduating, I haven't wanted to make anything. How do you get around that? I go for a walk and I will just look around and take pictures of anything that grabs my attention. I don't have to overthink it or think about what it means or anything like that. Like if I do a double take or if I stare at it like just a little bit longer than I stare at other things, I follow that and it has grabbed my attention long enough for me to give it some attention. So I'll take pictures of it over and over until it is captured on film or on a digital canvas the way that I pictured it in my head, or the way that captures why it grabbed my attention. After I do the photo walk, I go back and I look at the photos again and see if I can find any type of story, whether that's just simplicity in how it looked or conveys like how I was feeling that day, and then I analyze and apply the story after the fact. I use the photo example, but this can really be applied to anything. Something I hear a lot is, I can't be an artist, or I wish I was an artist like you, taking pictures or drawing. I've said it myself, wanting to draw like someone else. But if you stop comparing yourself to other people and get started, you can find that you can become whatever you're trying to be, whether it is a painter or an artist. If you're still really hard on yourself, just strip away the extra stuff. Make it as easy as possible for you to jump onto whatever you're doing. If you can't spend 3 hours painting a picture, spend 5 minutes sketching one out, and then work with what you have. So if you don't have to have the fanciest camera or the best paint in the world. You have a pen and paper, or if you have your phone, like that is enough to get started. And then once you get started, then you can start focusing on other things like storytelling and creative style. One last reminder, rule number 8, don't try and create and analyze at the same time. They're different processes. It isn't easy, but if you have a good reason to start and break it up into a few steps of creating and analyzing, and it will pay off. That rule has helped me get past a lot of creative block, as well as getting through obstacles like starting to make videos. If you have any tips on getting past blocks or on getting started, let me know below. It's a simple rule, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. But nothing in life worth doing is ever easy. But if it helps you become a better person, then it'll be worth it. All right, until the next one. Later.